Actually, I want to shout out to George Burroughs.
Oh, yeah, George, yes, that's the homie. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I threw up one of his pictures of you because he's a friend of mine as well. I thought that'd be nice to put up one of his nice photographs of you. Anyways, I just asked people if they had any questions. So there's a couple here. So as you might imagine, I haven't asked you this yet, and I probably wouldn't have if it weren't for this, but everybody's wondering about the setup, Daru.
Okay.
How did it come to be? What's going on with it?
Okay, that's a good question. If you want to know about that, go to Drumeo and watch my lesson.
There you go, baby. That's how that's done.
It was all, it wasn't no scientific reason. It was all for looks. You know what I'm saying? For one, because like I said, when I coming up in the hip hop community, it was all about having an identity. And I remember when I was introduced to the live band aspect of hip hop, one of the first people that I saw was Amir Questlove. I want to shout him out. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for what you've done for the community. Big shout out. You know what I'm saying? I'll never forget when I would see his ads in the magazine. I was like, yo, what is that? Why did this dude just have a snare drum in floor time and he's the funkiest thing ever? Because I come up at that time, I was coming out of playing Infusion, I was doing those type of gigs, and I was like, yo. At the same time, I was still a hip hop producer, and I would still play those beats with the 4 or 5 piece, but at the same time, I had a small car and I was playing 2 or 3 gigs a night. So I dumbed down my kit.
Yeah.
What co-signed it was me seeing the ads with the Questlove. I was like, okay, he made it cool. You know what I'm saying? And my only challenge was me trying to figure out how to do my 5-piece fills with just a couple pieces. So anyway, as far as the setup, I built up this reputation. I started becoming like the next hip hop guy that was on demand. I was playing with all the legendary hip hop dudes in New York and Detroit and elsewhere, and I was like, okay, I'm becoming this thing, but I don't want to just look like Questlove drum kit. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that's a big thing in the hip hop community. Biting me, like I don't want him to be like, yo, okay, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, what can I do to take what he's did and make it my own? So by me playing traditional grip, which is the traditional match grip, in that culture, watching the jazz drummers, they all tilted the snare drum in the marching drum fashion. You know what I'm saying? Like the Buddy Rich, Gene Krupa, the list goes on. I was already doing the snare drum that way, and then one day I woke up, I was like, man, what would happen if I do the floor tom? So it was just trying to look, just for it to look cool and not look like Questlove kid. That was the first, reason. And then I just felt like eventually my vocabulary would change and I would start implementing the things that inspired me, which was the glitchy, Dilla influence, you know what I'm saying, that whole thing, which was inspired by drummers anyway, you know what I'm saying,
right.
Not being a computer and playing a certain aesthetic and it being left in the recordings, you know what I'm saying? And then eventually I started adding more drums. So basically, to make a long story short, my setup was just all about looks. I sit really high, I like to dominate the kit, come down like a throne, and I wanted everything to look kind of neat, because I won't say I'm a neat freak, but I am a neat person. So I wanted everything to be in its place and look like furniture. You know what I'm saying? To look in place. You know what I'm saying? So that was a whole vibe just for looks. And then eventually I grew into learning how to use a thing. That was a whole challenge within itself because I had to change my vocabulary.
Sure.
And even my touch. And it was a whole thing. I had to switch it up. And I think it's important as drummers that we evolve. You know what I'm saying? Depending on, like I said, it goes back to what lane you want to be in. But that's what I wanted to do. I evolved into this. And that's the whole background of the setup.
Once and for all, right?
If you played this way, you were going to play better. You know what I'm saying? It worked out. And I made a transition and evolution in my career and in my drumming. And then I started switching the setup. So now my current setup, I have the floor tom in front of me, and it's a certain look, but I wanted to keep adding on it because I'm the type of person when I start seeing everybody like kind of copy, and I was like, let me switch it up. So that was one of my things of switching, throwing a little curveball in the setup so I can have some type of originality on that. But
that's awesome, man. So got one here from Carl Groman Drums, and he's wondering, it's kind of a cool question. It's like, what was it like touring with Jack White with two separate bands, not knowing which band would perform each night until they arrived at venue?
That's a good question. I was crazy, yo. I'll never forget that experience. So, basically, yeah, so there was an all-female band, an all-guy band, and I was a part of the all-guy band called the Buzzards. All-female band was called the Peacocks, and the drummer was Carla Azar. You know, Carla, she's bad, you know what I'm saying? She's dope.
Yeah.
It was good and bad things about that experience, but overall, I'd never done anything like that in my career, so it was cool on that note, but it was frustrating sometimes because sometimes we would go to a city and it would be like, sometimes we would do the same venue for 2 nights in a row, which would obviously give both bands an opportunity to hopefully play. But even with that said, we still didn't know. We would get a text in the morning or email in the morning, say like situation for like Red Rocks. Are you familiar with Red Rocks?
Oh yeah, in Colorado there, yeah.
Red Rocks, it's just legendary venue, right? Always wanted to play Red Rocks. So it was frustrating when you didn't know who's the band that was going to play. The first time on the Red Rocks, the girls got to play. So us as a male band, we're like, yo, I've been waiting to play this venue my entire life.
Oh, that's rough, dude.
Not saying that was the case, but there's been those situations. Or if we're playing in New York City and we're only doing one night, New York, that's my home turf. You're gonna have the girls come out and play. So that would suck because it'd be like, yo, my peeps, they think they're gonna come out to see me, and they not. So
yeah.
The cool thing about it was we all still got paid regardless if we played or not.
Oh, that's so weird. This is a strange concept, man.
And so it was like we got it was an off night. We got paid for an off night to see somebody else play. So
wow. That's bizarre, man.
That's rock star problems, you know what I'm saying? But that's the thing. That's some of the things that sucked about it, and yeah, just the different perks when you. Because basically we all traveled on the same bus as far as the bands. So you have all these different personalities. Women are women and men are men. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's just enough said. Sometimes, somebody may wake up on the wrong side of the bed. You know what I'm saying? And just anything can be set, can set somebody off. So, but then we had all these different personalities. Everybody have their star power, right? So,
yeah.
With that comes egos.
Oh yeah.
Then you have the band that one that sounds better than the other band. So it became this big competition thing. Because when every time we did a show, there was a write-up on the internet. Like, okay, I'm glad Jack chose the male band because they came out aggressive. You know what I'm saying? How do you think that made the other band feel? We need to play extra chops, or we need to try to play. So it created this vibe, you know.
Man, there's something kind of interesting about this, though. So, like, that friction was that the point?
Jack is a mad scientist, you know what I'm saying?
That's wild genius shit, man.
But yeah, it basically it brought out the best of us. Yo, it made us want to come with our A game, and also everybody's approaches was different. Some of the males' interpretation was a little definitely aggressive because we masculine. But then some of the arrangements from the girls' band was just dope. You know, it was beautiful the way that they played it. You know what I'm saying? Because they played on it was all these pros and cons. You know what I'm saying? But overall, I'm glad I had the experience, and it's brought amazing notice to what I do, and it's been great for my career. Totally.
Man, that is rad.